What's up guys? Today I'm taking a look at the Cheetah 2.0 foam dart blaster, which is made by the company Worker Toys. This was sent to me by the retailer Monkey Mods, who I should probably remind you if you do want to buy something from them, such as this, you can actually save 5% by using my discount code, which is just my name, Brad. I'll leave a link to this down in the video description down below, but also remember that Monkey Mods sell both gel blaster parts as well as Nerf stuff. Now, the Cheetah 2.0 here is a mag-fed, manually operated, spring-powered dart blaster. To operate the Cheetah is a two-step process, so with a magazine inserted, slide the barrel forwards, then push it backwards to load a dart, cock the piston, and then fire. Now, this two-step process does slow down the rate of fire a little bit compared to some other dart blasters, but a creator on Etsy called Detroit Dart Club has actually made an add-on kit for this blaster, which takes that to a single-step process. So that would definitely improve the rate of fire that this gets stock. Now, from my experience of using the Cheetah 2.0 so far, I'd best describe it as a sidearm, high-powered pistol blaster that shoots around 200 FPS on average. This is very similar in both functionality and performance to the old homemade rainbow pistols. Unfortunately, the Cheetah 2.0 does not come pre-assembled out of the box, so let's rewind the clock a bit to back before I assembled this, and we'll show you how it goes together. It's really simple. So here's the box that the Cheetah comes in. On the front you've got a picture of the original Cheetah, which fired rival balls, which are pretty crap. And then on the other side you've got the Worker logo. So I've just taken everything out already. So let's set the box aside and assemble the blaster. So the first thing you'll have to do with the blaster shell, there'll be a couple of screws already holding it together. But if you undo those couple of screws, you'll find the rest of them are in a little bag that's inside the box. But just pry the two halves of the shell apart so that we can start putting stuff inside. Here's just a quick look at the inside of the blaster shell. Now, the first part we're going to install is what's called the dart gate. This part, the barrel slides through to open and close the breech and load each shot into your blaster. The barrel simply slots into that, but you'll notice that it's able to pull out the front. So what we need to do is take this little bit of plastic that comes on the barrel, and I'm going to tape it at the flared end of the barrel, where the darts load in. So I'm just taking a little bit of electrical tape, wrapping it around that bit of plastic. So now the barrel won't pull all the way out the front of the blaster when you try and load a dart. Now, the next thing to do with the dart gate is to grab this plastic guide piece that slots into a slot in the top of the dart gate, and that simply helps guide darts into the barrel straight. In one of the bags you'll find a spring, and that spring just needs to push down. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a spare one of those in the bag. So, without it in the blaster yet, push the spring on very carefully, not to break the plastic. Now we push this in, and then we place it in the blaster, and make sure the spring sits below the plastic, like that. Now, also in the box, you've got the cylinder and the piston already assembled for you with lubricant applied. Inside the cylinder, there's some rubber padding to help dampen the impact of the piston. So all you have to do then is place this into the blaster. And the hardest part of doing that is going to be aligning the catch and the spring on top of the catch into the grooves that it sits in. But after a bit of messing around, you'll have the cylinder sitting where it's meant to, you'll have the catch sitting where it's meant to, and you'll have the catch spring sitting beneath the bit of plastic above it. Now the blaster's ready to put back together. All done. Now, also in the box, you've got a plastic Worker rifled barrel. Simply friction fits onto the end to increase your accuracy. And they also include some Worker Gen 3 darts and a couple of spare O-rings and stuff like that. I personally wouldn't use these darts, I'd go for the Adventure Force Pros. But now that I have the blaster assembled, let's give you an overview of the blaster. So, probably the most obvious thing about this blaster physically is that it's completely transparent. So this plastic is completely see-through, and you'll be able to show people who might be new to the hobby exactly how a blaster works. So if I pull on the piston here, you can quite clearly see it get locked in place by the catch, ready for me to fire the blaster. And if I had darts loaded in this mag, you'd be able to clearly see those get loaded in as well. Although this blaster works kind of backwards to most other blasters. In most blasters, the barrel actually stays still, and then the pusher pushes the dart into the stationary barrel. But this one, the barrel itself is moving over the dart to load the dart. And then if I test fire the blaster, you actually see this has a really good air seal. At the top of the blaster, you've got a Picatinny rail, and I'd definitely say this blaster is accurate enough that you want to be adding some kind of micro red dot sight, or even some iron sights to this, because with the rifled barrel at the front, you'll be able to hit a target every single time at 30 meters. And finally, the materials this blaster is made of, predominantly plastic, although the red parts are anodized metal. So the barrel and the cylinder are both metal, everything else is plastic. So now let's head outside and see what kind of velocities the Cheetah 2.0 shoots over the chronograph. 193, 163, 194, 191, 201, 185, 195, 199, 183, and 203. So the Cheetah shot a high of 203, a low of 163, and an average of 190. Definitely impressive for a small pistol blaster. Personally though, unless it was very easily able to shoot 300 FPS, I would never really use this as a primary. So that's why I would say this is more of a secondary. Depending on where you play, you might play somewhere that has an FPS cap of 200, and then this could definitely be a primary. I've got one final test for the Cheetah today though, and that's the same test I use for all my other Nerf blasters, and none of them missed this target. So I'm shooting from 30 meters away at a 1 meter diameter target. I've got the rifling attached, and because this is a pistol, kind of hard to aim and brace without a stock, I'm going to clamp it down in a vise. Let's see how it goes. Okay. There we go. Alright, taking a look at those results, I'd have to say I did have it aiming a little too high when I clamped it down in the vise. If we adjust for that though, every single shot would have hit the target, which is pretty good for a Nerf blaster. Keep in mind though that I did have it clamped down in a vise, so in real world use, a pistol is not going to be as accurate as a rifle with a buttstock. For its size, the Cheetah 2.0 performs really well, averaging around 200 FPS. With a Picatinny top rail and being mag fed, I think it's a bit of a step up from the old homemade Rainbow pistol. The two-step process required to cock and then load the blaster does hurt fire rate quite a bit, although Detroit Dart Club does have that kit you can buy on Etsy to make this a single step process. If you do want to pick up one of these blasters, I'll leave a link to it down below. Make sure you use that 5% discount code at MonkeyMods when you check out, whether that's with this blaster or other Nerf stuff or even gelable stuff. But that's it for this video guys. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future videos, and I'll see you on the next one.